So we're going to go in. Let's make sure this is popping up. It is.
It's already after
Okay.
12.
No.
Running so late on our little hour appointment.
I know, because we're fun. McCarthy.
We're just,
We learn
just
cool
great.
stuff. We do. Okay, so McCarthy, and now it's going to be different. But you can see here her winter,
Sorry, I'm not lucky.
and here's, here, come on over. Okay, so here's her spring. And the first time she did it, she told me she built it. Student learning, okay, outcomes at the course level isn't necessarily the same data that we need, but it's a great place to practice. So eventually we're going to have outcomes at an institutional level and then at a division level, and then we want to teach faculty to write their rubrics towards those student learning outcomes instead of reinventing it, because I need the data to connect and do a handshake. So if we go into her fall,
6 years from now.
yeah, so we're not waiting, right? We'll be gone 4 years. So
I'll
her winter.
do that to the next time I see her.
So winter, she learned some stuff in fall that she told me about, that she made it too detailed. So in winter she made it simpler for herself, and it still looks very detailed to the average teacher who's looking at it. Now, so let's take a look at how she did for spring. When you go into her spring and you pick an assignment, so let's just pick, let's see, how's she doing her assignments? There we go. Assignments. Come on, baby.
Modules, if you're not in there.
There we go. It's just slow. Okay, so these are all assignments, and they have points to them. Good. So if we just go to, let's say, this one, and then we take a look at her, oopsies, come back here, show rubric. Okay, here's where she writes rubrics that are related to course outcomes, student learning outcomes.
The SLOs.
Right, so if you look at communication, critical, human, information literacy, personal responsibility, she's defined points, so that's a conversation, and then she aligns her rubrics with those. You've already rated this, so now taking you back to what I was showing you earlier, Washington WordPress, this recordings, we had like 3 different workshops with different campuses approaching it differently. We're all still trying to figure out what this means to us. So it's easy to write a rubric, but to write a rubric that is meaningful and aligns, yeah, that's entirely different.
That actually is interactive.
Exactly. So here is outcomes reporting in Canvas. That is at an administrator level. I'm looking to see if they did any other ones here. I thought they
Does
did.
Chad actually know about this, like how to do this?
He has to teach over at Central, and when he and Bill were first trying to develop a tool, the process of producing the database and the tool, the form, the input fields and so forth, was pretty big in itself.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem was getting faculty to put the information in.
Yeah.
So when Canvas came along, I said, I think we have an opportunity here. If we can get what you guys want to happen inside Canvas, and then teachers are already in there, teach them how to do rubrics, now we have an alignment.
Right.
So who was it? Doug showed me something. And then the world started to align. Doug showed me something that another college was doing. Mary Jo dove deeper into it and found some conversation about reporting. And it started to confirm what I had hoped it might be capable of. Has any of us done more than what I showed you just a moment ago with Rebecca? Yes, they have. Okay. Has it been what they hoped it would be? I don't know yet. So here's measured outcomes college-wide. That's Stephanie talking about the very thing. And then now you're going from campus to campus. There's the institutional level student learning outcome, right? So here is South Seattle. And this is where Rebecca got hers, where she started with. So student, or maybe we'll just call it learning outcomes, because everybody says it a little differently. Learning outcomes, there we go. So these are the latest ones, right? communication, computation, da 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 da
So
da
the
da da.
question right here
That's an
is
institutional
that-
level.
Right, but in my rubric, I should be using the same header.
You could be, but here's what happened was and I should give you all of these so she can look at it and think about it. Criteria and rating of a rubric and alignment with a student learning outcome are two
Yeah, sure.
different things.
yeah.
So she sets up the SLO at a
Because these
course level.
have little symbols, like they're linked to, no, the little
Right.
yellow.
Right. So she takes all of that stuff and then defines it, what it means to her in her course. So she's interpreting what the institutional level is saying. And this is why we're doing that TLC thing over the summer, is to bring a bunch of the TLC people together to kind of really massage and think about faculty and disciplines. What is it we need? I need to know things at an administrative level so I can set up the pins. And then the TLCs need to be able to go out and say, all right, here's how you write that rubric to align with your SLO. Now, is the SLO at a division level or an institutional level? That conversation still has to happen. And Chad will drive that conversation.
Okay.
So I'm kind of stuck in a swirly middle part, waiting for it to settle. In the meantime, Rebecca's already experimenting with it. So my,
Just scroll down here. So these
yes.
the little yellow thingy means, what is that?
This criterion
It
is linked
It
to
is
a learning
linked.
outcome.
So, to learn how to build the...
Okay, so now here's outcomes,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
So that's at a course level.
Okay.
So she set up these guys,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
And then I put some points on it. This is what I need to do at an institutional level, and then you go to the deans and say, all right, I've given you a subgroup where you can adjust your division or your program to align, and then how do we then inform our faculty to write rubrics that then they don't have to write it, they align it.
Yeah.
You know, what in here is, it's a big swirly, not easy, but once you set it up, you don't want to have to change it, because now, that was the thing I learned at Kathy, where's was hers? Kathy Brooks. Real smarty. She knows, she's already been trying to do it at an institutional level, but she said, here's my perils and pitfalls. Don't do what I did, because now all that data is useless. She goes, go small, start in one little area and see if it works, which is kind of what we've got with what Rebecca started. We add yours to that. Now we have a more informed, well, here was my experience, here's how I think as a teacher. So are you interested in being on that SLO team this summer? I mean, we would love your data regardless of whether you're on the team. But
Yeah.
your personal experience and observation and discipline.
Meaning...
TLCs, she's going to
TLCs.
pay for it. And we'd meet like maybe, I don't know, once a week to kind of, maybe we'd have a, here's what we all know, and now here's our assignment. High five, see you later. So Mary Jo has hired Brady to come in here again. Do you remember Brady? Brady was driving a different, he kind of comes in it with a fresh, untainted South perspective, right? He is an instructional designer and good at leading a team without telling them what to do, but keeping them on the path of what they're trying to accomplish. We're trying to accomplish what I was mentioning before, this top level meeting the other level, and then how do you teach it out to your faculty to write rubrics that
So what
aren't
we really-
difficult.
What we really need at this point are some guinea pigs like Rebecca
And you,
me
yes.
and a few others, just so that we can see how it's working.
Right. So knowing these,
Yeah.
and I can get you all of this that she's got so that you could take it and massage it to make it your own.
Well, I'll try to figure out how to just build it.
Yeah.
Because so each
It looks like she's got two different human relationships there. She's probably just still working with it.
But
I'm not sure why she has
points,
two.
So is each student then receiving those points?
I don't think so, because when you go back and you look at the assignment, and this is the conversation I need to have further with what do those points mean?
Yeah.
Because we need to be consistent. And once we set it, we cannot undo it or the data is all useless. Got to
Sure.
start over.
Start completely over.
Yeah. So we go back to this guy, and now she's already created rubrics, right? We're going to just show the rubrics that she created. And in here, you can, let's
Oh, I
see
see.
here.
Okay,
You
let
can
me back up a
edit
little bit.
the rubric, but yeah.
So,
You want me to print this for you?
okay.
Let's see what it looks like in this view. Nothing good. Okay, we don't want that or that.
Page
Come on.
11.
It's not letting me scroll. You poopy head. Won't even let me scroll it. Is there a forward? Let's try that. There we go. No, it's not even picking it up,
Yeah,
so I'll do a
that's all right.
screenshot.
That's okay. Yeah, a screenshot is good enough. I want to see this.
Let me get the
You're gonna
top and the
pull it.
bottom, yeah.
Okay.
Because I'd kind of like it too.
Okay.
We'll go to here before the communication. Okay. Where'd you go, buddy? Don't freaky deaky. Is that where you are? Oh, you weren't out front. Okay. Save it. So that's her rubrics. Man, I'm cold. You're not cold, are you?
Not at the moment.
I am wheezing. Okay, and then there is her set, which also doesn't show each of these.
That's all right.
That's the
That's all
individual
right.
thing. So we'll do this again. Snippy tool. Okay. So 13 points. What does that mean? What's this 13
that's
points
from up above.
of in the rubrics, right? So where does this meet that?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'd like to hear what she has to say about that. There's a lot that I need to still look at. SLOs. All right. You've already rated students. Okay, so we wouldn't get in there. But that's the kind of conversation we still need to have.
Sure. So it's all.
It's pretty big. It's
Well,
kind of exciting.
It's a huge,
Yeah.
huge, huge
I'm going to stop
project.
this.